All right, checking in. This is the microphone correct. Yeti microphone good. Yeah, the video capture device is good. Chat is live. Anybody wants to join in on voice chat, you can on the Discord. Happy to bring in people. I am looking for the stats currently because for whatever reason, we are not able to come up with statistics. Last week, it was you and I with the... it was you and I unable to put together a video stream until halftime. And tonight it's Longwood unable to put together a... unable just to put together anything. They got the screen, but... excuse me. They got the video, but unfortunately, no dice on that stream. Let me get the... We're going to get the share. We're going to pop out on X. Join us in the post-game post-mortem for the Milwaukee men's basketball loss to Longwood, 76-62. If anyone can come up with a box score, that would be great. Still trying to locate one. I should probably do that. Copy that. Let's delete that post. And add to this one. Keeping an eye on chat. We're keeping an eye on the statistics is what we're looking for right now. Yeah. Well, Panthers lose 76-62 to Longwood in Farmington, Virginia, in a game that it was kind of like the UNI one. The wheels kind of came off towards the end. They had difficulty getting started at the beginning of the game. Overall, it was just a game that you felt like if they could get anything going offensively, that they would have been able to pull it off. Maybe that wasn't true for the UNI game. I think that was certainly true tonight. We got a couple things to talk about. We're going to talk about something cool as well afterwards, but we're 1-2. The Milwaukee Panthers just not looking all that great tonight at Longwood. The offense was at one point shooting like 8% from the field. The Longwood missed like 4 dunks. So this could have very much been another 20-point loss. Look, these are very early games, and on some level, I want to get really, really frustrated with the team because we had higher hopes. I don't think anybody had as high hopes as I did for this team. I feel like there is a lot of talent on this program, on the court. The guys who are not, playing are generally guys who we weren't expecting to be big players. The biggest one tonight was Eric Pratt. I'm not going to speculate. I don't have any. I've heard a couple things that Eric Pratt was not making it to the game in Virginia. Without speaking to anybody in the program, I'm not going to speculate as to why he did not make it on the court and make it on the trip to Virginia. He's one of your best players, and he's the only guy who's been able to show that he can consistently shoot the ball. So, for whatever reason he was not on there, I hope that gets resolved, because on Tuesday they play at Duquesne, and that's a program that they cannot afford to shoot poorly against. Longwood, unlike Northern Iowa, Longwood did not shoot the lights out with the ball. They did have a better. They did have seemingly a more well-rounded, like, inside presence offensively. It did not feel like they weren't all focused on the one guy, and when it came to they didn't have these dudes just sinking threes after threes. So Northern Iowa was a bad loss. They're all bad losses, but it's tough when your first two Division I games are both double-digit losses. One of them's almost 20, could have easily been over 20. The other one's 14, could have easily been 20. That's a disappointment. If anybody can locate the stats, that's the problem that I'm having right now, is I'm not able to locate stats for the game. That's not a great thing. We kind of need that to be able to totally talk about what happened on there. The Twitter account for MKE MBB did not put anything after Kentrell Pullian getting a rebound and putback almost an hour ago when their team was down by 8. So I don't even know. I don't even know where the stats are. Longwood Lancers. Let's check it out. Let's see what the Longwood Lancers. Okay. So a field goal percentage looks like Milwaukee shot 23 of 64 from the field for 36%. Looks like Longwood shot 22 of 56 for 39%. Panthers shot 4 of 24 from 3 for 17%. They shot 12 of 20 from the free throw line for 60%. Those are those suck. Their live stats were never on board. I'm going to introduce you guys to somebody. Come here. This is serious. He does not like being held. He likes being pet, but not so much being held. Overall, it was a frustrating game. I did not like that we kind of took another one on the chin. Excuse me. Looks like we have a chatter. Tell us what you saw, Will Sarah. What I saw is a Panther team that is not working the ball around offensively. There's a lot of driving the lane and going up with shots. That is true of just about everybody who was on the court tonight. I feel like if the team emphasizes passing the ball, especially when you're coming from a drive out of the lane, that things will start turning in a positive direction, because without, well, there's a little bit of an echo on the mic. Okay, maybe let me listen here. Ping the ball, especially when you're coming out of the lane. Well, that's kind of cool. Let me see if... how about now? I'm going to see if this is going to work. Let me listen here. Ping the ball. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that up in the lane. Well, that's kind of cool. Let me see if... I'm just going to look at this real quick. How about now? Fantastic. Okay, so there goes that work. So there goes that problem. Ping the ball. Thank you, Mike, for bringing that up. So what I saw largely, it's not that there was no off the ball. Oh, I muted myself. So it doesn't look like they are it doesn't look like they're going for passes. It looks like they're committing to driving the lane, and they're committing to the score. And if they are committing to the score, then they are not going to look for that pass, which has made it so that it's very easy for some of these guys, some of these defenders, to just commit to the guy who's driving the lane, because he knows they're going to put the ball up. I'm guessing that if you were to look at the blocks numbers, that there would probably be at least 4 or 5 blocks for Longwood tonight, off of, and almost all of them, if not all of them, were coming from guys who were driving the lane and just going up with the ball and not even looking for another pass. Kentrell Pullian's had a problem with that basically the entire time he's been here. Not as bad as it was for like Elijah Jameson, but like I said with those guys last year, when we were having struggles in the early non-conference season, I was saying, look, if Pullian and Jameson were to, instead of using the drive to the basket to set up their own shot first and foremost, if instead they were using it as a way to find an open shooter or the next guy driving the lane to the basket, things would open up a lot more, not just for the other players on offense, but for them. And that definitely showed true later in the season when Elijah was looking for that pass, and BJ was doing this very well, was looking for the pass. Tonight and against you and I did feel like Themis Falks was looking for his own shot on drives to the lane instead of looking for shooters. Now, maybe those are plays that were designed for him, but and if they're not, whether or not they're designed for them, I think that the design should be look for the open man first, because Falks is not a big guy, and his drives to the lane are always going to have some difficulty unless he's able to hit some open shooters. I said this during the game when we were having the live stream discussion. I do feel like this is something that the team might just have to kind of shoot themselves out of it. And that may involve taking it on the chin in a game like this. Maybe it involves taking it on the chin against Duquesne. Maybe you work on running an offense, and even if it doesn't work, you just gun it against Duquesne. If the shots aren't falling, but you're taking open shots because you're passing the ball around and you're driving and kicking, you're getting these open looks. Even if the shots aren't falling, you're at least getting that practice of getting somebody open for the shot. The first play when they came back from halftime, when they ran it for Faison cut to the basket, except it was a corner three. I thought that was a fantastic play. I wish they ran the play like that 50 times during the game, because the defense buckled in on Faison, and what ended up happening is the Panthers ended up having an open guy in the corner. Now, I can't remember who took that shot, if it was McKee or who, but they had an open shot. And that at this point is all you can ask for. If you're not making the shots, it is what it is, but you need to be taking the shots, because you need to be working to get open shots. Long story short, you need to be working to get the open shots. You need to be working to get that spacing. Eventually the shots will fall. You are not going to shoot, 17% from three every single time. You are not going to shoot 20% from three for the season. That's not going to happen. And if it does, holy shit, at least you can say you're just one of the worst to ever do it. At least you can say you're breaking some records. But you gotta find open shooters, and yeah, you gotta work it into Faison too. They got to play this inside out game. They don't do it as much. The drives need to be a way to create offense for other people, not just yourself. Because I do feel like if Fulks is looking for the open kick, if he's driving the lane and looking for the open kick, eventually there's going to be a point, especially if once Pratt's back in the fold and you have guys cutting to the basket at the same time. Either he's getting an easy assist to somebody right there, he's getting a longer assist for an outside shot and an extra point, or he's getting an open bucket because the defender that's down low has to commit to the guy cutting on the back door, or the guy cutting to the basket from on the other side of the lane, or is just out of position. You need to create offense for everybody. And it feels like the Panthers' biggest problem right now is that whoever's holding the ball is creating offense for themselves. None of these are unfixable problems. None of them are. They are all fixable problems. There is nobody who's on the court where I look at them and I'm like, this guy should not be seeing the floor. Nobody. There are guys that I would like to see more. I personally would like to see Lyric Davis playing a lot more. I feel like Lyric Davis is one of, if not our best defender. I feel like he has a good 3-point shot that isn't unleashed enough. But I've also heard a lot of talking up of guys like JaMychal Stillwell in the offseason. Themis Fulks was talked up, maybe not for his shooting, but for his distributing ability. I haven't seen enough of that distributing ability to be excited yet. That's not a knock on him. Matt Clavitt says, it feels like we have a team that when they're not the more athletic team, they're going to struggle. Luckily, they should be the most athletic team in the horizon. I don't know. Anthony Roy looks pretty fucking good, if you ask me, from Green Bay. There are players in this conference. Yes, the entire conference is struggling in the non-conference season for the most part. It looks like Green Bay trashed Western Illinois tonight. You guys know how I feel about Western Illinois. Those are my boys. I mean, that's the University of Milwaukee in Illinois, as far as I'm concerned, with Boudreaux and Chris Hill running it down there. And that's, that sucks for them, but like, hey, that's a win for the Horizon League. I'm telling you, Anthony Roy looks like the real deal. I'm going to be watching that game tomorrow night, the replay for that game. I think there's a lot of case for optimism for a lot of the conference. And I think that a lot of us came in with such high expectations, and I will say again, I had higher expectations than most, if not everybody, and we're kind of coming to earth, and that's a bummer. It's tough, but it is what it is. I'm gonna take a look around, see if I can come up with another. See if I can come up with those statistics that we were trying to find. Now I had posted on Twitter. I said, "What the hell, man? I had such high hopes. This is just deflating." Mike Stack says, "Feeling the same way. Just depressing after such a great offseason to start the season like this. If you don't win in the non-conference, you don't draw larger crowds for conference play." It's difficult. It's very difficult in a pro sports city like Milwaukee. Even when you're rolling in the non-conference and you're winning a lot of games, it's tough to get people in the crowd. If you're not, it's damn near impossible. And that sucks because this should be a team that should win the conference. At least we hope that they can win the conference. If they roll out some of these wrinkles. It is difficult. Kind of is what it is. We are looking at next week. Still don't have stats. Still, we were again. Longwood was 22 of 56 from the field for 39%. That's a number that I would accept. I don't think defensively the team was bad tonight. There were defensive lapses, to be sure. They had a couple real tough ones. Specifically the alley-oop. There was an alley-oop in the second half where we just had no idea how to defend it, and we had to figure that out. It did seem like we had some success later on with the it did seem like we had some success later on in the game with the press, but also they broke it a couple times. So it's a little hard to pull that as a total positive. Of the few statistics we have, the 4 of 24 from 3 for 17%. That's tough. When Longwood themselves only shot 4 of 16 for 25%. That means we took 8 extra shots and didn't make any of them from 3. Some of them were forced. Some of them were not. You got to take what you can get. But right now, like I said, I think the team really has to work on making it so they are, they need to work on making it so they're working the ball around to get open 3-point shots, open shots from wherever they need to go. You need to take open shots, and open shots very rarely come from somebody dribbling their way into it. The guys who can dribble their way into an open shot every single time are not on our roster. At least who can reliably do it every single time. There are not a lot of guys who can do that, and they're not on our roster right now. Longwood 76, Milwaukee 72. Our next game is at Duquesne. We can hope that Duquesne will have both their stats and their ESPN feed. Sarah Jackson asks, "Is Pratt injured?" I heard early on some speculation. I don't want to talk about the speculation because I didn't, or at least I want to preface it by saying that I have not. Hey, buddy. I want to preface it by saying that I have not heard anything specific from the coaching staff. Coaching staff had told me last week that Danilo Jovanovic was sick. Is he still sick? I don't know. I know that he didn't make the trip to Longwood. Is Eric Pratt, is he sick now? Is he hurt? If he was hurt if he's hurt, I would assume he'd still travel with the team. Was he suspended for the game? That was speculated on. I have no idea. I think that is something that is a question that a journalist would ask, ask Coach Lundy. And as somebody who is not a journalist, I can't tell you an answer. And like I said, I don't really want to speculate. I shouldn't have even said that out loud, because what if the guy's just sick and he just has to stay home? Maybe he got COVID. I have no idea. It's hard to say. What I can say is that Eric Pratt was very much needed on the offensive end tonight. The Panthers needed somebody who can shoot the open three. The Panthers need somebody who can make that kind of cut to the basket to give Themis Falks the kind of backdoor cut passing opportunities to get himself some assists and some points for the team. What I can say is that Milwaukee needed their star small forward, and he wasn't there. For whatever reason he wasn't. I hope that gets resolved quickly. If he is sick, I hope he gets better. If anything else is going on, just wrap it up and let's move on. Tuesday, we have a game at Duquesne. That is the third and final one of these road games that the Panthers have. Duquesne is 154 in KenPom right now. Again, that's an Atlantic 10 benefit. Longwood was 181. Milwaukee was 196 coming into tonight. So Duquesne's a little higher up on there. Duquesne basketball has they lost both of their games already. Their first game of the season, they lost to Lipscomb 77-72. They lost again to Princeton on Friday 75-68. Their next game is not us. Their next game is 2 nights from now. They are at DePaul in Chicago. That is an 8 p.m. start for us locally, and then the weekend off, and then they play us on Tuesday at 6 p.m. I think we can look into doing a little bit of a deeper dive. I want to get somebody in for a conversation. If anybody has any comments about the game, I'd like to open it up to the floor. If anybody's got things to say about the game, you can drop it on the YouTube channel in the live chat, or you can drop it into Discord. We are on the live Discord on the Horizon Roundtable Discord streaming channel. This was a tough one. Panthers lose 76-62. They are 1-2 on the season, 0-2 against Division I competition. You have one more road game before the Milwaukee Panthers come home. You have the Duquesne matchup on Tuesday. Then you have the Friday, Saturday, Sunday Cream City Classic at the Panther Arena downtown, hosting Portland State next Friday at 7, playing Wofford, the Terriers of Wofford, at 3 o'clock on Saturday. And then Sunday at 1:30, the St. Thomas Tommies, who have been such a thorn in our ass for the last few years. The day before Thanksgiving, the Panthers play at UCF in Orlando. They play the end of November, close out November at Southern Miss. And that will be most of the non-conference schedule besides a couple small games. They open the conference schedule at home against Cleveland State, and then they're on the road at Green Bay. So, again, Panthers lose 76-62, drop down to 0-2. Were we ever leading? Did we have any good runs? I believe we were leading 9-8, and that was the only time that the Panthers had the lead tonight. They did not have the lead for much of the time. It got relinquished pretty quickly, and then we were down, I think it was 6-2, 8-4, and then they took a 9-8 lead, and then Longwood took it right back and never looked back. So Sarah Jackson says, damn, we really needed Pratt tonight. Hope he's back soon. I agree 100%. The depth of this team was much ballyhooed by me and other people, and offensively they're struggling quite a bit. They need somebody to step up and distribute. They need some guys to step up and move when the ball's not in their hands. Offensively, they've got a lot to work on, and I will say this, like I said last year, like I said the year before, you take a big loss on the chin. The good thing is that's good game tape. At the very least, you can take this and you can say, well, we fucked up here. Excuse me. We screwed up here. We screwed up there. We can do better at this point on the court. We can do better down here. The way to move forward, and I want to stress this to every Panther fan who's really down right now, the way to move forward is to remain positive. Losing games on the road to good mid-majors is not. These are not embarrassing losses to UNI and Longwood. These are two great programs who go to the NCAA tournaments with regularity. These are strong mid-major programs. In fact, these are the kinds of games that you want to play to make your team better. The problem is we didn't win either of them, and that's got a lot of people bummed out. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you keep yourself positive, if you keep yourself, you keep the outlook positive, and you say, okay, that sucks. Duquesne's another tough game. Maybe they take it on the chin, and that's 3 straight bad losses. They're only bad because we say they're bad. Duquesne's got a new coach in Drew Joyce III. Congratulations to Drew. He's a good dude. He's one of LeBron's running buddies. I'm glad to see that he's finally out of Coach Dambrow's shadow and he's got his own program. Would have liked to have seen him get the reins at Akron at some point, but it is what it is. But yeah, Drew Joyce. Talk about making me feel old. I'm about to turn 38, so it's not crazy, but to see Drew Joyce is getting a head coaching job is just it feels like isn't he kind of young? No, he's not young at all, actually, Jimmy. You're just old. I think Drew's actually 40 years old now. I don't know, how old is LeBron? He's the same age. Stack says, I was beating that drum as well. They're making me foolish right now. Making me feel foolish right now for it. There are times that you're going to feel foolish. Your team's always going to. There are times where the team's going to make you feel like, you're putting faith in the wrong spot. Trust me, you're not. You're not putting the faith in the wrong spot. They are going to do well. It's going to take a little bit of time. They need to get some W's on the board, but first and foremost, they need to put together a full game, and they need to really work on their offensive spacing. They're moving the ball around. They have some stuff to work on defense, but you can see from UNI to Longwood, they did make strides on the defensive end. Like they did, the defensive rotations were quicker. There were a couple flubs, but I would say, and tell me, Chad, if you disagree, but I do feel like defensively they took a step forward in this game. Longwood scored 76 points. That's a team that can score 90, 95 with ease. So the fact that they scored 76 is good. They shot under 40%. They shot 25% from three. At some point, you got to take that. The problem wasn't the defense. The problem tonight was, again, the offense. It's just that it was only the offense, or at least the defensive problems were surmountable if they were able to have the offense to do it. They didn't have the offense going, so they got dumped. Sarah says, I feel like Ezia and Lyric should have played more. Agreed. Ezia had that nice 3-point shot. It was crisp. It was clean. The form was perfect. And we need shooters. We need guys that can shoot on offense, especially when guys like Eric Pratt are not on the court or in, with the team at the moment. If Lyric Davis, who I feel is somebody that can shoot, he hasn't shown it really this season because he hasn't had the ball much in his hands, but I do feel like he's a guy who can shoot the three, and he's also a major positive defensively. I do feel like if Lyric were playing 15 to 20 minutes of defense every night, I think we would be in a really good spot. I don't know if he's being held back because of the idea that there are all these seniors, and if we play all these seniors over him, that he won't, other schools aren't going to notice him and we could unleash him next year. But they're playing Lovelace, so that can't be it. I really do. I mean, I do feel like next year this is a team that, you surround Lovelace and Lyric Davis with a bunch of talent and things are going to be fun. But I like you, Sarah, I do feel like Lyric should be playing more. Ezia Pippa White, definitely in the little time that he played, defensively, I think he's got some shortcomings. But I also think that Themis Fawkes's defensive successes sometimes are a little bit when he bites on the ball, and he jumps passing lanes. And the problem with being that kind of defender is when you miss jumping the passing, you jump the passing lane, you don't get the steal, and you don't get a deflection, then you're giving the other team an easy bucket. That was, in my opinion, how like a guy like Ahmad Rand was, defensive player of the year, even though I wasn't 100% sure he was really the best defensive player. Stack says, I guess you got more patience than me. It's frustrating to come out this way so flat twice in a row. Maybe Bart needs to have a quicker hook when guys make boneheaded plays. I mean, we're fans, so we're always going to second guess coaching decisions. I will say that Bart knows a whole hell of a lot more about basketball than I will ever know. If he thinks that, letting some of these guys stay out there and letting some of these guys stay out there, letting them work through this stuff is a way to get past it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he doesn't have confidence in guys on the bench yet. Maybe there could be any number of reasons why he's doing it. Personally, like I said to Sarah, Sarah's comment, I do think Pippa White and Lyric Davis should be playing more. The minutes, like, who do you take minutes from? Like, do you take minutes from Johnny Lovelace to give them to Lyric Davis? I don't know. I want Johnny Lovelace playing a lot. I want JaMichael Stillwell playing. We have yet to see either of these guys really doing what we've been told they can do for the Panthers. obviously anybody who was at the Youngstown State game at the arena last year knows what Johnny Lovelace can do given 5 minutes of turning into freaking LeBron James against Milwaukee. More lyric, less Aaron Franklin, says Stack. I think the thing with Aaron Franklin is they feel like they can use him as a small ball 5. You couldn't really do that with Lyric Davis. Are you going to put Lyric Davis as the 5 in any situation? No. But Aaron Franklin could be one. Sarah Jackson says take Duffy out. Well, if you're putting more Lyric in and less Aaron Franklin, you're struggling to have guys on in the post. Darius Duffy did. To Sarah's point, I will say this is that Darius Duffy, he was a ghost out there tonight. I didn't see anything. I know he played. I saw him sub into the game. I didn't see much in the way of what he did. I didn't see him really do anything for the team, so I don't know what to tell you. Kind of disappointing on that front when you think about it, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Let me see. Longwood, are we gonna get Longwood scores and stats? We still have a live stats link on their website. Is the live stats going to have anything? Nope. It's a frustrating morning or frustrating evening for Milwaukee Panther fans. Aaron was definitely better than Duffy. I'd like to see Aaron Franklin take more 3-point shots myself. He's a guy who, is small ball 5, but stretch. He shot 33% on very high volume when he was in JUCO, when he was a JUCO All-American. So where's that guy? 33% is not like amazing, but that's a green light for a post player or for a power forward. So if we're going to throw him out there as a small ball 5, maybe we should be, maybe he should be taking more of these 3-point shots. There was a point where he had, I can't remember if it was a turnover or was it an offensive foul. There was a point where he had caught a pass at the top of the key and he had a wide open 3-point shot and elected instead to dribble it and then turn it over. That right there was a play where, man, I feel like he could have taken that shot. I don't know what his heat map is. I don't know if he's just not comfortable off, between the elbow and the top, or if he just is not confident in his 3-point shot at all. But it seems to me like we have very few guys who have a demonstrated ability to shoot at 33% or higher from 3 over the course of a season, and he's one of them in that he shot something like, he was like 85 for like 230 or something from 3, or 240, 250 or something in his sophomore year at JUCO. So where's that guy? We're struggling for shooting without these guys looking for the extra pass. We're having to, I think the cat's playing with the towel, by the way. Without the looking for that extra pass, you need to be able to get the 3 points up and make them so that you can keep the defense honest. And the problem offensively for the Panthers is they're doing neither of those things. They're not taking and making threes, and they're taking threes, they're just not making the threes. And then they're also not looking for that extra pass. So the defenses are able to key in on whoever's driving the lane. Kentrell Pullian, Themis Falks, a couple of these guys got rejected right at the rim going up for layups, and you're all short dudes. If you're under 6'5" and you're going to the rack, your first play is not your own shot. Your first play is to find somebody else. I mean, I feel like I could have played the center for Longwood tonight and had relatively the same defensive efficiency that they had, because our guys kind of telegraphed where they were going to go. When they did look for that extra pass and they got it, the offense worked a lot better. There were a couple plays, but they didn't really seem to be running an offense. So we're going to wrap it up here. We'll be again Tuesday night. The game is again a 6 p.m. start. Duquesne will be here we're going to be in the Horizon Roundtable Discord. Grab a link from that from Horizon Roundtable. We're going to be on there, and we're going to be we'll be doing another YouTube postgame show. So thanks everybody who jumped in. Will Sarah Stack, Sarah Jackson, Josh Tomaszewski, Matt Clavette. Thank you everybody for participating tonight, and we will